If you love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
So far in the chase for NASCAR this year, the ratings have continued to plummet down, and it adds more reasons to why the chase grid is stupid and an illegitimate way of crowning a champion. But despite all that, we still got one last chase grid we gotta go over this year, as the final one is now going to be starting this weekend at Texas, with the Xfinity field now set. So now we have 12 drivers remaining. So who will win the Xfinity Championship this year? Let's go ahead and let's meet our lucky 12 contestants. So we have our number 1 seed, the Giga Chad Noah Gragson. As Gragson has had a career year with 6 wins. Like everywhere we go, he's been fast and he wins a lot. Entering the chase as the hottest driver in the Xfinity Chase, winning the last 3 races in a row and 4 of the last 8. So Gragson has all the momentum in the world to get this title done this year. Because you need to have momentum if you want to have a chance of winning the championship this year. And for Gragson, it would be a good way for him to end his Xfinity career before he goes off the Cup next year to drive that 42 for Petty GMS. Can Gragson finally win that title that's eluded him and maybe shut the haters up once and for all? All signs are pointing to it. So we have Ty Gibbs, as Ty Gibbs has had another career year, proving that his part-time success last year, winning 4 races on a part-time schedule, was no flash in the pan, and that Ty Gibbs is truly as advertised. He's been the second fastest driver, maybe arguably the fastest driver. It's a debate between him and Gragson, but easily a front-runner for the championship this year, and he'll be going up to the Cup Series next year to drive the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, replacing Kyle Busch. Even though it hasn't been announced yet, it's more than likely that's going to happen. But yeah, Gibbs, he has all the speed and the consistency in the world. Easily a favorite for this championship. But can Gibbs handle the pressure at Phoenix? That's going to be the real question. So Justin Allgaier is back in the chase. It took a while for him to get going, but once he got a few wins under his belt, he looked like he was going to be a solid contender. But he's really cooled off the last few weeks. And he's lost a few races that he should have won off just pure mistakes off of him. And he's come close in this format many times, but has either had a combination of bad luck or just failing to perform when it mattered the most, did him in, or just making mistakes. Can Allgaier finally put it together to win that championship that has long eluded him? Or will Allgaier find a new way to shoot himself in the foot in the chase? Tune in to find out. I'll just say this for AJ Allmendinger. The speed from him and Colleague this year hasn't been the same as it was last year. Seems like the only time Allmendinger has been fast this year is on the road courses. But everywhere else, he's just meh. He's just mid, but he's consistent enough to get a big enough points lead and take advantage of Allgaier, Gibbs, and Gragson's misfortunes. So Allmendinger, he's really going to have to show some speed on the non-road course tracks and the ovals too. I mean, yeah, AJ Allmendinger won another regular season title, but that accolade only gets you so far. I think he'll do enough to make the Final Four, but with a team that's shooting to go trophy hunting, just making the Final Four ain't good enough for Colleague. So Josh Berry has had a pretty solid season so far. He's been pretty good, quite consistent. Like, he's had a very quiet top 5 season. He's even got wins on non-short tracks like Dover and Charlotte. He's shown he can have speed on the bigger tracks. We all know, though, Josh Berry's real strength is the short tracks, and there's a good chunk of them, especially late in the season, as the last 2 races are on tracks less than a mile long. So if the right circumstances play out for Barry and Barry can just stay out of trouble, Barry could be a legit dark horse contender for the championship this year. Can Barry put it all together? We'll have to see here, but his talent is definitely there. So Austin Hill has had a pretty solid rookie season in Xfinity. He's done a better job adapting than Sheldon Creed. Like, I originally thought Creed was going to be in this position over Hill, but the opposite has happened. Hill did get 2 wins. Granted, both of them were super speedway races, but he's had pretty fast speed on the big tracks and the intermediate tracks, but the short tracks, they haven't really been his biggest strength here. Like, I mean, hey, solid rookie season, but some people may want more out of Austin Hill, but next year, that was going to be the big telling tale if he could step up his performance next year. I mean, with guys like Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson gone next year, that could happen. But expectations are going to be a lot higher next year, especially with Kyle Busch joining the RCR family. I mean, Hill's going to have to show a lot more if he wants to be taken as a legitimate championship contender. So Brandon Jones has had a pretty quiet season too. Got 1 win at Martinsville earlier this year, which resulted in another fight between Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs. Seriously, why the hell is it that every time Brandon Jones wins a race, there's always a fight that happens after the race? Like, good God. But yeah, Brandon Jones though, would anyone really take Brandon Jones in a key moment of season when it matters the most? Like, he puts up solid numbers in the regular season, but he doesn't perform when it matters the most. He does get a ride next year at Junior Motorsports. Maybe going to Junior Motorsports will help improve his performance overall. Maybe he'll win 2 races a year. The main reason he's going in that team, though, is because he's bringing a Reams Menard sponsorship over with him, because sponsorship money equals more money. And yeah, and like I said before, it doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you have financial backing behind you, you will get a top ride. But yeah, Brandon Jones, he's not a bad driver, but he's not a good driver, and no one is scared of him. Brandon Jones kind of looks like a first-round elimination, to be perfectly honest. And the award in Xfinity for driver that has no business being anywhere near the chase, but is in the chase because he got a fluke win at a super speedway track, that award goes to Jeremy Clements. Because Jeremy, let's be honest, Jeremy Clements has no business being anywhere near the chase, but he's mainly in because of the winning you're in stipulation. And that winning you're in stipulation, it rewards mediocrity, to be perfectly honest. Clements did get that way, but initially he was kicked out of the chase because they thought there was a intake manifold violation in the engine, which led his win to be encumbered, and a 75-point penalty. Only for NASCAR to find out there was a glitch in the matrix. And they restored the points back, and they let his win count toward chase eligibility again. To be honest, nobody has any expectations for Clements. He's a first-round elimination waiting to happen. And to be perfectly honest, this 51 team is just happy to even be here, to be honest. So, we have Sam Mayer here as he is in his first chase appearance in his career, and he's had a pretty quiet season too. But in the end, he's had good speed, but not great race-winning speed. And I mean, with how the Junior Motorsports cars have been this year, he's easily been the weakest of the 4. I think at some point, Sam Mayer's got to step his game up. Mainly, the first step is win a race. I mean, if Sam Mayer could win a race, maybe I could take him serious as a championship contender. I think he'll have a solid, deep run, but just hasn't had any race-winning speed, to be perfectly honest. Need to see more as Sam Mayer to take him serious. So the reigning, defending Xfinity Series champion Daniel Hemrick is back in the chase to defend his title. And he's trying to have the same season as last year. Like, I honestly thought he was going to be a lot better with Colleague this year. But to be honest, his speed and consistency isn't the same as what it was last year. I mean, hey, there's always the possibility that he could go on another run similar to last year, but it's very hard to replicate that kind of run 2 years in a row. Especially with speed guys like Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson have had this year. It's going to be very hard to replicate a season like last year all over again in the chase. Like, I honestly thought Hemrick was going to be a lot better this year, but he's just been kind of a massive disappointment, to be perfectly honest. So, Riley Herbst is back in the chase again. Okay, I'm trying to at least put some positive on Herbst because, to be honest, Herbst is having a way better season than he is last year. I mean, this year is an improvement over what last year was with that 98 car, but he still hasn't been able to get that win that has eluded him. I mean, he's had speed, he's had chances to win, just hasn't put it all together. I mean, if he could win a race, maybe he could be a dark horse contender for the title. But I think he's kind of like Brandon Jones in a way. Like, he puts up solid numbers, but when it matters late in the season, no one's going to take him serious when it matters the most. I mean, Herbst, he possibly could go deep if the right circumstances play out. I think he's had that kind of speed and consistency too. But whether he can put it all together or not, that is yet to be seen. At least make it out of the first round first if you want to be taken serious. Oh, you made it back into the chase again? Am I supposed to be impressed, Sieg, considering that the competition Xfinity is still about as diluted as my piss? The only reason you're in the chase is because of Landon Castle and Sheldon Creed both choking on their own shit. And Jeremy Clements win fucking the entire chase grid up. But let's be honest, there's no expectations for you. You're a first round elimination waiting to happen. Take your first round elimination and go join the other wannabe teams in the corner and fuck off. So now I have all 12 of our contestants on the bracket right here. So here are all 12 of them. So now, the round of 12, we have Texas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval. Out of these 12, who advances to the round of 8? So here are the 8 drivers I have advancing to the round of 8 here, and all the race winners are highlighted in purple. So Texas, well, it's Texas. Nothing ever goes right at that track. So fuck it, I got Ty Gibbs winning that race. Because most of Gibbs' speed has been on 1.5 miles in the big tracks this year. Either Gibbs or Gregson, maybe Allgaier, but I feel like nothing goes right there, so fuck it, Gibbs wins Texas. Talladega's a fucking crapshoot. It's literally a crapshoot. So for Talladega, I'm just going to be boring and play it safe, and I'm going to say Austin Hill will win Talladega since he has speed at the big tracks. And the short Roval, not much discussion here. I got AJ Allmendinger winning that race for the 4th year in a row. Because, yeah, I'll be honest here, I was thinking about Ty Gibbs for the short Roval, but I feel like the moment I go against Allmendinger, he'll win again. So I'm not going to go against Allmendinger, I'm just going to take him to win the Roval. And I got Noah Gragson, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, and Terrible Herbst all making it to the final, to the round of 8 on points. So yes, I have all 4 Junior Motorsports cars advancing to the round of 8. So the 4 drivers I have eliminated are Brandon Jones, Jeremy Clements, Daniel Hemrick, and Ryan Sieg. So yeah, Ryan Sieg, like I mentioned, it's a first round elimination just waiting to happen. He can go join the other wannabe teams in the corner. Jeremy Clements, he's mainly only in the chase because of his win at Daytona. And that team is just honestly happy to be there. I think those 2 are the easiest 2 eliminations to happen, but everyone else is when it gets harder. Daniel Hemrick, I know it's a shock to some people that I have the reigning Xfinity champion out in the first round, but I just haven't seen the speed or consistency out of Hemrick this year. I just haven't seen it. To be honest, I felt like he was going to do a lot better at Colleague this year, but he's honestly been one of the biggest disappointments this year. And I think he caps that disappointment off with a first round elimination. And for the final one, well, it's between Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst for that final spot, 8th and final spot. But to be perfectly honest, both drivers are honestly the same, to be honest. But to be perfectly honest, I feel like Riley Herbst has had more speed than Brandon Jones this year, and Herbst has been more consistent than Jones. And to be perfectly honest, this year I would rather trust Riley Herbst over Brandon Jones. And both of them suck, but I would trust Herbst more out of Brandon Jones. That's not saying too much, though. So yeah, there's my round of 8 right there. So now, the round of 8, it consists of Las Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville. So out of these 8, who do I have advancing to the Final Four? AKA, which 4 drivers am I jinxing this year because I never learned my lesson? So here are the 4 drivers I have advanced into the Final Four this year. So, Las Vegas, I got Vegas going to Ty Gibbs because he's been fast a mile and a half, so I got Gibbs sweeping the season series at Las Vegas, and I have Gibbs making the Final Four here. So I have Ty Gibbs at 7 wins this year. And Homestead, Miami, I got Homestead going to Noah Gragson because Gragson has had the fastest car at Homestead the last 3 times we've been to that track, including both races there in 2020. And last year at Homestead, he had last year's race at Homestead won and in the bag until he got taken out by a lab car with 3 to go. I think this time, Noah Gragson will get it done when it matters the most, and he will come in clutch and finally get that Homestead win that's eluded him and gets redemption over the last 3 missed opportunities there. And Martinsville, this may shock some people, but I got Martinsville going to Josh Berry. Like, Josh Berry, he's came up on the short tracks, and he's tailor-made for the short tracks at Martinsville. He's run a really good at tracks like that, especially in modifieds, too. So I think Josh Berry, Josh Berry on a short track, I think if you give him an opportunity on a short track, he gets it done. So I think Josh Berry makes it in the Final Four off the win at Martinsville. And I have A.J. Allmendinger getting the final spot in on points. So that means the 4 drivers I have eliminated are Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, and Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst, he's had good speed, but hasn't had race-winning speed. And I feel like his effort's not going to be good enough. And I think something happens to him in this round, and he has a bad finish in here. Sam Mayer, he's had solid consistency, but I just haven't seen race-winning speed out of him. And I need to see him take that step up to take him serious. And I think something happens to Sam Mayer in this round, so I'm not putting my faith in him. Austin Hill, he's had speed everywhere else, but Martinsville is one of his worst tracks. So I want to trust Austin Hill there to be clutch when it matters. So unless Austin Hill could do well at Vegas or Homestead, which he's been pretty mid on intermediate tracks, unless it's all track over 2 miles. So, and I feel like something happens to Austin Hill in this round, so I have Hill out. And for the final spot, it was between Allgaier and Allmendinger, but for that final spot, it was very close to the side between those 2. But in the end, I feel like just A.J. Allmendinger is way more consistent than Justin Allgaier. Plus, add on, and I feel like Allgaier is once again going to shoot himself in the foot. Once again, I feel like Allgaier is just going to be the odd man out. And it's going to be another year of Allgaier looking in the mirror himself, and that 17 looking themselves in the mirror, asking themselves, what the fuck are they still doing wrong? So yeah, here's my Final Four. Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, and A.J. Allmendinger. I think these 4 will put on a great show at Phoenix for the championship. But, out of these 4, who do I have winning the 2022 Xfinity Series Championship? So for my champion prediction, well, out of the 4, well, I feel like A.J. Allmendinger, he hasn't really had speed at tracks that are not road courses. Like, he's been fast on road courses, and that's about it. Like, Colleague as a whole this year has been down all year on speed. Like, they just haven't been fast, so I'm not going to trust Allmendinger to get it done at Phoenix this year. Josh Berry, I feel like he can have good speed, but I feel like his speed this year is nowhere near what Gragson and Gibbs have had this year. So in the end, I feel like this championship is a 2-man battle between Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson. I think out of both of them, either of them would be an equally deserving champion. But this was a tough one. It's because these 2 are both evenly matched, and both of them run pretty well at Phoenix. Like, Noah Gragson won at Phoenix earlier in the spring. He's had good speed here in the past. Ty Gibbs has had good speed in here, especially at ARCA, because he swept both ARCA races here last year, especially in ARCA West. But it's a really tough to say. I think both of them would handle the spotlight well, but in the end, who do I think would win in a duel between these 2? And in the end, I just feel like I'm going to if I had to put my trust into one of these 2 drivers to get it done, I would have to go Noah Gragson. Yes, I think Noah Gragson will win the Xfinity Championship this year. That's very tough, but I feel like the only driver that can beat Ty Gibbs this year is Noah Gragson. Gregson's the only one that can. If Noah Gragson can't beat Ty Gibbs, then nobody can. I just feel like it's very tough, but I feel like Gragson gets it done. Granted, it's very hard to sweep a season series at a track, but I feel like Gragson, if he has the chance and he gets everything right, that championship is right there for the taking for him at Phoenix. But yeah, Noah Gragson is my pick for the championship this year. So yeah, those are my Xfinity predictions. What are yours? Let's debate down. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone's a great day, and I'll see you on whatever I make next. Peace. Now, not only watch me could be completely wrong after round one. Watch this format really piss me off this year.